Welcome to the HBC Brief Podcast, your essential industry update in under 10 minutes. I'm Greg Adams, bringing you the latest news, legislative changes, and marketing tips that matter to HVAC contractors. Stay informed, stay ahead. Let's dive in.
All right, strap in, everybody, because today we're taking a deep dive into the world of greener buildings. And guess what? Cleaner air might be closer than you think. Yeah, even if you don't own a skyscraper.
I'll tell you what's really caught my eye lately is this recent acquisition in the HVAC industry. It's like they found two puzzle pieces, and when they fit them together, boom, you get a glimpse of where sustainable building tech is headed next.
I know, right? We're talking about an article we found in ACHR News, that's like the Bible for HVAC folks, all about R0 Systems acquiring Secure Air.
Yeah.
Now, these names might not ring a bell for everyone listening.
Right.
But stay with us, because this is where it gets juicy. R0, they're all about making buildings healthier. They've got some seriously cutting-edge disinfection tech. And then there's Secure Air, and they specialize in,
air purification.
Bingo! You got it!
Seems like a match made in, clean air heaven, wouldn't you say?
On the surface, yeah, it makes total sense, right?
Right.
But here's the kicker. The article, it emphasizes that this whole deal, it's not just about giving us fresher air to breathe. It's much bigger than that. They're framing it as a major move toward decarbonization.
Okay, so for those of us who don't speak fluent sustainability, decarbonization, that basically means cutting down on those nasty carbon emissions, right?
Exactly.
And you're telling me that better air filters are the secret weapon. Now, that's not a connection you hear every day.
It's a bit counterintuitive, isn't it? See, most building owners, especially those managing those massive office towers, they're constantly juggling two things. Keeping those energy costs down.
Right.
And trying to stay on the right side of all those environmental regulations, which are getting stricter all the time. Yeah, makes sense. Nobody wants their electricity bill to look like a phone number. And, gotta look after the planet, too. Am I right?
Exactly. And that's where traditional high-efficiency air filters, while they're great for air quality and all, they kind of become a double-edged sword,
How so?
Well, on one hand, they're amazing at trapping all that microscopic junk that makes you sneeze and cough. Dust mites, pollen, the works.
All the good stuff.
Ha! But on the other hand, they can guzzle energy like nobody's business.
Let's break that down a bit, because we're talking about those MRV ratings, right? Those numbers you see on air filter boxes.
Right.
It's like their ranking system.
Yeah.
The higher the number, the more microscopic stuff it's going to catch, right?
Exactly.
So higher MRV usually means cleaner air, which is what we want, but...
But?
Yeah.
There's always a but, isn't there?
Always a but.
Think of it this way. Imagine trying to breathe through a really thick blanket compared to, say, just a thin sheet. That higher MRV filter, that's your thick blanket. It's working hard, trapping every little thing, but your HVAC system, it's got to work even harder to push air through it. And what does that mean? More energy used.
Okay, so that's the trade-off then. Cleaner air, but potentially a bigger energy bill. Not exactly ideal, whether you're a building owner or just trying to live a little greener.
Yeah, it's a real dilemma. And this is where Secure Air comes in with their game changer. They've developed something they're calling electrically enhanced media filters.
Electrically enhanced? Okay, you're going to have to break that one down for me. It sounds a little complicated.
I know, right? It's a mouthful. But it's actually a really cool concept once you wrap your head around it. Imagine, if you will, like a magnetic field that can trap dust, pollen, even viruses in the air.
Okay.
Before they even have a chance to get anywhere near your air conditioning system.
Wait, hold on. So they're using electricity to basically zap those tiny particles out of the air, like a force field, but for dust bunnies and pollen.
You got it. And because the air itself isn't fighting its way through a super dense filter anymore, you end up with the same high-efficiency filtration, but way less energy consumption.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive tech.
So they've basically figured out how to make the air itself do all the heavy lifting when it comes to filtering out the bad stuff.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we're talking about saving energy here, right?
Right.
But are we talking like a little pat on the back from the electric company or something a little more impressive?
Think more along the lines of a serious discount on your energy bill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the article I read, it actually mentioned that Secure Air's technology can lead to a playback period of just 2 years.
2 years now. For those of us who don't have MBAs, what does that actually translate to in real-world terms?
It means, in plain English, within 2 years, all the money you're saving on your energy bills.
Right.
Because of these filters, it completely offsets the cost of actually installing them in the first place.
Wow.
So it's like you're getting a brand new, super efficient HVAC system,
Right.
but it's practically paying for itself in just 2 years, just from being so energy smart.
That's incredible, especially with energy costs going through the roof like they are these days. So finally, it seems like we're finding that sweet spot where we can be good to the environment and good to our wallets at the same time.
Exactly, and it gets even better.
Oh, how so?
Well, in the article, they quote R0's CEO, Jennifer Nuckols, and she's talking about how more and more building owners, they're looking for these solutions where they don't have to choose between saving money and, doing the right thing for the planet.
Of course.
And this acquisition seems to be a pretty clear response to that demand.
I like it. But let's shift gears for a second here and get back to why we started this whole conversation in the first place. The air we breathe.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about cleaner air in these buildings, but what does that actually look like for the folks who are inside? The people working, learning, living their lives in these spaces. What's the real impact on them?
This is where things get really interesting, actually.
Okay.
Improved indoor air quality has been linked to all sorts of benefits.
Yeah.
Like we're talking increased productivity at work, fewer sick days, especially for people with allergies or asthma.
Oh, wow.
It's not just about feeling better either. It's really about improving people's health in measurable ways.
Well, you know what they say, you can't put a price on good health.
Right?
But maybe with these filters, you kind of can.
Maybe.
And a pretty reasonable price at that. So this article, it's focusing mainly on commercial buildings,
Right.
office towers, that sort of thing. But I'm sure you know what I'm going to ask about. What about the rest of us?
Yeah.
Could this be the future of cleaner air in our homes, schools, even gyms, you name it?
That's a great question, and you're right to ask it. As more and more people prioritize things like sustainability and healthier indoor spaces, it's not a stretch to think that this technology could become more widespread.
Yeah.
More affordable, accessible to everyone, really.
Right. We all deserve to breathe clean air, right?
Yeah.
No matter where we are.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder what other innovations are right around the corner,
Yeah.
What will the buildings of the future look and feel like?
Fun to think about, isn't it?
It really is. And maybe the biggest question of all, will we be breathing easier because of it? I'm feeling optimistic.
Who to?
We've covered a lot of ground today, from high-tech air filters to the future of buildings and everything in between. But there's always more to discover. That's what makes this so fascinating. It's funny, isn't it? We don't really think much about the air we breathe.
That's true.
Until, allergy season hits or,
Or pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Suddenly everyone's an expert on ventilation and filtration, right?
That's right. It's like it was never a thing before.
Right. And this acquisition we've been talking about, even though it seems kind of niche at first glance, it actually reflects something much bigger that's happening everywhere you look these days. It's like this merging of technology, sustainability, and health. They're not separate issues anymore, are they?
Not at all. They're all connected.
Totally intertwined, and we see it everywhere. You've got those smart HVAC systems that can adjust themselves based on how many people are crammed into a room,
Right.
or how much sunlight is coming in. You even have building materials now that are designed to be non-toxic, so they don't mess with the air quality inside.
It's amazing.
It's like we're finally realizing that we can't really separate taking care of the planet from taking care of ourselves.
Exactly.
They go together.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not just about warm, fuzzy feelings either, right? There's actually, data to back this up.
Oh, absolutely.
Studies that show buildings with better air quality, employees are more productive, they take fewer sick days.
Right.
Some studies even suggest it can improve, brain function.
It's incredible.
It's like giving your brain a breath of fresh air, literally, right?
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so if I'm connecting the dots correctly here, this acquisition is really just one small piece of a much bigger story when it comes to how we design buildings, how we live in them, work in them, just exist in them in the future.
I think that's a great way to put it.
And it's a future where hopefully we're all breathing cleaner, healthier air.
Hopefully.
Well, this has been fascinating. I never thought I'd be so interested in air filters.
Me neither.
But that's the beauty of these deep dives,
Yeah.
right? You never know what you're going to learn.
That's right.
So we'll leave you with this thought. If companies can make cleaner air more affordable for those big office buildings, could the same technology eventually become accessible to all of us?
That would be great.
Could this be the future of clean air in our homes, schools, Maybe even those gyms we were talking about, something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time for more explorations into the world of built environments.
That wraps up today's HVAC Brief. I'm Greg Adams, helping you stay on top of the HVAC industry. For more in-depth coverage and exclusive content, head over to hvacbrief.com/subscribe and sign up for our newsletter. Until next time, keep cool and stay efficient.